Sexual freedom is certainly a tricky business.
Yes, it is.
I mean, how can the individual develop sufficiently within the constraining bond of a single marriage?
True.
Is not the licentiousness that is condemned by the so-called moralists rather not the freedom to develop the freedom of choice?
Yes.
Whereas the marriage license is in fact a constraint upon liberty.
Freely entered into.
Freely entered into, mayhap and granted, but nonetheless considered empirically a constraint upon pure freedom.
Well put.
And that's why I slept with your wife, Jack.
Oh, that's rather interesting, Ronald, because in point of fact I slept with your wife.
I never knew you'd slept with Teresa.
No, we didn't tell you, no.
No.
We didn't tell you, firstly because we didn't want to hurt you, and secondly because we didn't want to tell you.
Very fair. She's a wonderful thinker, Teresa.
And superb in bed.
Superb in bed, but nonetheless a first-rate mind.
A first-rate mind.
Second-rate body.
Second-rate body, but
first-rate mind, yes.
I didn't know you'd slept with Janice, Ronald.
No, I told you because I wanted to hurt you.
Fair enough.
Plus, of course, I'm in love with Janice.
Aha, the nub.
The very nub, yes. Are you in love with Teresa?
No.
No, neither am I. First-rate mind.
Second-rate body.
Whereas Janice...
Second-rate mind.
First-rate body, yes.
Yeah.
Well, look, we're both civilized people.
Absolutely.
We're sensitive, sensible human beings.
Certainly.
We better fight for her.
Fair enough.
Just a minute, Ronald and Jack.
Oh, Teresa and Janice.
The very same.
Oh, hello, we were just speaking of you.
Were you proposing to fight over us?
Well, perhaps we better toss up over it.
Women are not sex objects, Jack. We are not prizes to be awarded to the winner, Ronald. We're leaving you.
Oh, blimey.
We're fed up to here with your chauvinist, sexist philosophy. And we found some younger men. What's more, it hasn't escaped our notice that the men get all the best parts in this sketch.
Well, it's written by a man.
Well, there's a sexist argument for a start. Just because it's written by a man doesn't mean to say it has to be played by men.
You'll never win that argument.
Why not?
Because the writer's written what you just said.
Precisely. The writers merely used a feminist viewpoint in order to sidetrack the truth of your remark and forestall the very criticism you're making.
Why are there no Jewish people in this sketch?
See, and now he's made a joke of it.
But he's written what you just said.
He's a cunning bastard.
Let's stop speaking. That'll show him.
Yeah.
No, he's written this silence in.
We actors are the mere puppets of the writer.
He's written that as well. He's written you saying he's written that as well.
And he's written you saying he's written you saying he's written that as well.
Oh, he's just exercising his power at our expense.
He's even written that.
Must be mad.
Did he write that?
No, I ad-libbed that.
Hey, well done.
No, I didn't. He wrote it. Let's face it, we're trapped by the writer and he's written what I'm saying now.
These 5 characters have become aware that they are trapped by the writer in a Duff sketch and are quite unable to do anything about it. Suddenly, a cruelly gratuitous stage direction viciously inserted by the writer in revenge makes them all change into silly costumes. And he changes them once again with a careless stroke of the pen. Another cruel, unnecessary stage direction isolates this character and writes him into the middle of a duck pond.
Why always me?
Maddened with power, the writer relentlessly makes them all hop up and down on one leg. Now he makes them put their hands on their heads and go ping. Ping! Now he gets bored with this game and decides to get rid of the set. Then he decides to get rid of the characters. Now he writes in a table and chair, some potted plants, a piano and some screens, a pianist, and a silly fellow. Then he makes them play and say the following. Recitation. I went to a wife-swapping party and nobody asked me to swap. Deirdre, my wife, had the time of her life with a man from the off-licence shop. But his wife was minding the business and he'd only come with the wine. Still, he went round all night swapping on site. I do wish he hadn't swapped mine. Now, Deirdre, my wife, she's a shy girl and she doesn't like to say no. And though in her past she's never been fast, last night she never went slow. But I sat all night at the orgy, and no one asked me to indulge. The things that I saw going on the floor would make your eyes goggle and bulge. There were things that they did to each other in places I've not seen before. They were at it like knives with each other's wives. By golly, I bet they'll be sore. Well, finally my flabber was gasted when our grocer, I know him on sight, took her and put it in someone's with a, near the light. Then they all kind of, and then tickled with a, it was really obscene. I've never seen it attempted. I do hope their underwear's clean. My night at the wife-swapping party has certainly shattered a dream. Our hostess, they said, was tucked up in bed with half of the Sunderland team. But her husband, our host, he's a nice chap. And he said, as he gave me my coat, "Odd man out, I can see," put his hand on my knee and then stuck his tongue down my throat. Well, I'm not a chap who is prudish. I don't mind a wee bit of fun. But I do draw the line at perversion. There are some things that shouldn't be done. In fact, if I'm honest, we did them. Twice or 3 times, maybe 4. Right there and then with a bent friend called Ben on the rug on the living room floor. Well, shack our songoo is my motto. And we shacked our songoo all night long. Till midway through the strife, I met Deirdre, my wife, with the grocer and his going strong. "What on earth are you doing?" she said, "Gerald." "I don't rightly know," I replied. "It's something in Latin," and she, without batting an eyelid, said, "Come on outside." My God, there was a heck of a hoo-ha about who had done what with whose heck. And Deirdre said she was just tasting wine. Just tasting wine, bloody neck. She had more in her hand than a bottle. Still, it all turned out quite all right. 'Cause we decided we both loved each other. And we're going again tonight.
Hello, or rather goodbye, because that's about the size of it for this week. Rutland Weekend Television is closing down now and handing you back to the BBC. Yes, I made an awful lot of friends at Bristol. Yes. Saw Mario scoring in the lift. Yes, he didn't see me, but I thought I'd say hello anyway. You know, the expert. I was introduced to a cousin of Esther Ransom's. Yes. I saw Dave Allen in the bar, but then who hasn't? And then there's that terribly dear, sweet little girl who reads the news. What's her name? Built like a panzer regiment. Yeah. She can make you feel guilty just by looking at you. Yeah. I never saw Jimmy Savile, which is always nice, rather rare.
Coming soon on Rutland Weekend Television, a brand new series of the popular quiz game Nixon is Innocent, in which members of the public try and name major crimes of which ex-President Nixon was innocent, in exchange for cash or prizes. Can you hear me, Mrs. Raybid?
No!
Good. Right, now remember, you've got to tell me 3 major crimes of which ex-President Nixon is innocent.
3?
Yes.
Oh, blimey.
And off you go.
I think he was guiltless of the acid bath murders.
Good, yes, that's one.
I don't think he was responsible for the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor.
It's absolutely correct.
I don't think he was involved in the start of the French Revolution. Oh, did he do it? Oh, blimey.
No, he didn't do it, Mrs. Raybid, but unfortunately it's not a crime to start the French Revolution.
Oh, blimey.
Well, never mind, Mrs. Raybid, you've been a jolly decent sport. Nobody leaves this show empty-handed, so we're going to cut off your hands.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you can see more of Nixon is Innocent next Tuesday on Rutland Weekend Television.